Hello, my name is Brendan Swagger, and I'm here with Portland band Thanks. This is Indie Alt Interviews. Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, totally.
For the second time around. Alright, so let's start off. Let's start off the interview talking about beginnings of the band. How long have you guys been playing together? How long have you guys known each other for?
So we've been playing together for 3 years on Halloween. Halloween is our band anniversary.
I love you guys.
So the way we met is a couple of us had known each other already, and I didn't know. God, I'm doing a really good job at talking right now. So some of us knew each other, some of us didn't, and some of us had played. Somebody else was talking. See what I've been dealing with? Okay, what have I been dealing on stage? So, anyways, we were like the Brady Bunch. We were 3 of us knew each other, 3 of us didn't. Something like that. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Regardless, I had known Drew socially, and Noah and I had been talking about starting a new project, and I knew Drew was kind of interested in maybe starting a new project as well. So we met up and we're hanging out one night in the summer, and I was like, dude, so I hear you play drums, you come with a bass player, let's start a band. And he's like, all right. He was a little tentative, and I was like, oh, I swear to God, I promise. He was like, okay, yeah, all right, we'll talk about it. And so I kept bugging him, and he started asking around too, to make sure that I was legitimate and not just some creepy chick that wanted to front a band.
Still are that. But.
Still am. I'm not saying I'm not a creepy chick, but I also sing apparently. And so he kind of, put the wheels in motion, and we met one night too, and he was telling me he wanted to start a band either called Thanks or Cold Wine City, and I was like, Thanks it is, let's make this happen. And we went to a Halloween party with him, Noah and I did, and met Andrew, who's dressed as a creepy grandma.
Yeah, big grandma.
It was Halloween. Yeah. He was a very big grandma. And,
oh, the memories.
And I was dressed as Prince, and then, that was all he needed to know that he should be a band.
I couldn't stop staring at Jimmy because she looks so much like Prince.
I look a lot like Prince. You might not be able to tell right now, but I'll show you a picture later.
I'm not attracted to Jimmy, but pretty attracted to Prince.
It was a pretty confusing night for him.
Yeah, a lot of staring.
I wooed him into starting a band with me.
You couldn't keep your hands off of his
I
memories.
kept grabbing his grandma boobs too. Awkward. Yeah. So anyway.
So we played music the next day.
Yeah.
Right. If this story sounds sexy,
yeah.
It was.
Anyways, next question.
You mentioned the name Thanks. That was chosen before the band really started.
Yeah.
How did that name come about, and what's the inspiration for that name? Because it's so short, so simple.
I'll let Drew take this one.
It comes from one of my favorite country artists. His name is Ernest Tubb, and he has a song featured on one of his albums. It's called Thanks a Lot, and it's a sarcastic, kind of sad song about how he's been heartbroken, and he's thanking his ex for kind of ruining his life. And so he goes throughout the whole series of the songs, and the chorus is thanks a lot. And it kind of comes from that, and that's more where I was at the time when the name came about. But it's since kind of turned into a much more positive, fun, family kind of thing that we do.
Dads love us.
We just have a good time. We like to party and try to bring fun everywhere we go. It's not morose and unfortunate like the name was derived from.
Despite the sounds and lyrics.
Yeah. Morose and morbid.
That's true.
Family party band.
Aside, yeah.
Every other way.
Funeral party.
Funeral party band. There you go.
So, you were just talking about how your music has very dark vibes. You describe your music as dark soul rock and roll, and I think that's a really good way to describe it because you have the rock and roll elements with the guitar and the percussion, but you add a darker edge to it, adding in the cello and also the vocals, which have a lot of emotion behind it. What's your inspiration for the sound of your music?
Somebody else want to talk this time? Or should
Yeah, when we first got together, we didn't have a set aesthetic that we were going for. We were trying to have everyone do what they were best at, and we have a lot of different influences, each of us personally, the music that we listen to and the bands we've played in the past. And so what we tried to do was bring elements that we liked all together and see how it turned out. And luckily for us, we liked how it turned out. So we've just been, ever since then, trying different things, seeing what feels and sounds the best, and just going from there.
And I mean, I think we definitely now have a more conscious aesthetic too, like of what we want it to sound like. And
Well, now we know it. Does
Probably-
it sound like Banks?
yeah, I mean, and Noah is like the principal songwriter, so he brings a lot of that vision to the band. But yeah, vision.
That's the German version.
All right. The lyrics of the songs also match the sound very well, with a lot of dark elements in the lyrics. What's the inspiration? Where do you gather the inspiration for such dark material?
So, it's a difficult question.
Horrible ex-boyfriends.
Well,
was coming.
yeah, I said I knew it was coming. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's processing basically. Writing lyrics is like writing in a journal that you want to sound cool because everyone's gonna hear it. And I mean, I guess there's a lot of dark stuff inside that you have to process at some point, and everybody's got a different way. I don't know. Some people beat people up. Some people go running. I don't know. I guess I write.
She hates running.
I hate running. Dark lyrics it is. And I don't know. I feel like everybody's got a dark, like I was saying, everybody's got a dark side. You got to get it out in some way, shape, or form. And I get the nice, happy stuff out in front of everybody, and the dark, sad stuff out in word form, I guess.
All right. So you have your debut album out, Blood Sounds, and you also released your EP in November of 2012. Silver Scars will be our constellations. The album Blood Sounds, right here, was a Kickstarter campaign. Your goal was $3,500. You made close to about $3,800, and spent what was it, a week out at Destination University.
This guy does research. He knows more about me than me.
I know.
What was that experience like with the recording it and also with the Kickstarter campaign to get it going?
Wow, recording was rad because we all took the week off and camped out for the first couple of days. We all camped out on the property at Destination Universe Studios because he's got a big chunk of land, and it was summer, and so it was kind of just like, you know, grown-up sleepover camp. Where in the morning we went to like our dream job, which is, you know, recording music. So it was awesome, and it was also incredibly stressful because it was only a week, which is not even close to enough time to finish a full length. But we made it work. But yeah, it was super rad.
Yeah, Victor Nash is the engineer and owner of Destination Universe Studios. I can say that now, Victor. If you want to. But yeah, it's out, you know, on 82nd Street, and it feels like you're in the wilderness, man. There's nutria running around.
Nutria, yeah.
Fire pit. It was Drew's birthday. We went on a nice tour of 82nd Street that night.
Yeah, we did some 82nd Street bar hopping.
Yeah, it's a good place.
I don't recommend that, but
The next,
Tired pizza.
the next day I did some 82nd Street barfing.
Yeah.
So,
we had an 82nd Street hangover.
yeah.
It's the worst kind of
It
hangover.
was one of the worst hangovers.
Yeah, and then we also mixed the record and did some more secondary tracking at a studio called Cloud City. people said. Honestly.
Yeah. We didn't get
And
to
that
camp for
took
that.
like another 6 weeks. Yeah.
After that,
Yeah.
that was the long haul.
That was a long part of it.
Yeah, as
The
far as
recording was quick.
us as musicians, we were all able to get in there. We kind of had a clear idea of what we wanted things to sound like to a certain degree. I think some people wrote some of their parts like right there in the
We
studio.
wrote one song there.
So was that?
We wrote a song there.
Yeah.
I mean, not
I mean, I finished.
really. I knew what it was going to sound like.
I finished a song there. I mean, yeah. So there's a bunch of stuff where like we had an idea, and even if we hadn't finished our parts as far as how we had them written, we finished them right here in the studio. So we just kind of hammered it all out as fast as we could.
It was hard.
It was long. There were long days, and
Do
they
not
were
recommend.
really difficult. And I think we all walked away knowing that we want to take a lot longer next time for our recording process.
But it's expensive, and that was kind of what we had, so we made it work. And that was why we did the Kickstarter, to answer your other question, because we knew that it was going to be really hard to do it alone. Making records is expensive. So the Kickstarter was cool. It's also a lot of work, because you want people to know that you're not joking around and that you're willing to put in the work that you say you're going to. So I think Kickstarter is a model that's kind of set up to test you too, because you have to put in some hours just to even make an account and make a video. But it was a good experience, and I'm really glad we did it. And I think Kickstarter and crowdfunding platforms are super rad because it makes artistic projects possible that maybe wouldn't happen otherwise. So it was a good
We're
experience.
doing it again in March.
And we are doing
look
it
out.
again in March.
Next
Yeah.
album.
With the next album is in the works, and we are planning on doing some more crowdfunding for that as well to help us get round 2 out. Yeah.
All right. Aside from recorded music, you've been doing a lot of live shows. You toured in Europe for a while, and you've been playing a lot of shows locally in Portland, including PDX Pop Now, which is where we found you guys. What are shows like for you performing? How do you feel before a show and when you're on stage? And also, do you have any pre-show rituals?
I
Well,
love chanting.
we like a good chant before a show. Yeah, maybe I'll send you the creepiest video we've ever taken of ourselves chanting
Slow motion.
in slow motion before a show we did at the Wonder Ballroom. And the chant has changed. It's not really the words that matter. I think it's just
Sometimes it's just chanting.
sometimes we just say
Sometimes
sometimes we
chant-
just chant
chanting.
chanting. So that is a pre-show ritual because I don't know. We all think it's pretty important to kind of gather before a show and
Huddle up.
huddle up. Yeah, get pumped up.
Also, make sure we're all there at the same time.
Yeah, it's
It's
less about
so where did they? He was just here. I swear.
Yeah,
less about the
We're
ritual.
6 people, so it's hard to wrangle us sometimes.
Stellar.
We're
We're
missing
missing
one
one
right
right
We're
now.
missing- we don't even have Garrett here right now.
Yeah.
Oh, we should.
That reminds me. Can you guys say your names so
Oh,
people
yeah.
can get to know you a little bit better?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm Andrew. I play guitar. Thanks.
I'm Drew, also another Andrew, and I play the drums. And thanks. In this band.
This one.
This one.
I'm Noah. I play keys in Thanks.
I'm Lily. I play cello. Thanks.
I'm Jimmy and I sing and thanks.
All right.
You didn't go.
Oh, I need to go?
You can
No, I'm just
pretend to be
kidding, but
Yeah, you can
Okay.
pretend to be Carrot.
I'm Garrett, and I play bass. And thanks.
That was really good. That was very Carrot-like.
you're hired.
Yeah.
Okay. Pre-show rituals, we covered that.
Yeah.
How do you feel on stage at a show?
Rad.
Yeah. Depends on the show, but
Yeah,
in
depends.
Really
general-
depends on the show.
If it's at PDX Pop Now, that was
That was a
really,
great
really
show.
fun.
You guys,
That was cool.
It was outside. It was like the wind blowing through my hat.
yeah.
I think there was some
Great.
fog
There
going.
was some fog going. It was super fun.
It was great.
I mean, it's obvious to say, but the cool thing about going on tour for like a month is
All the free beer?
you will have
No. Okay.
is that you get to play a lot, and so like by the time we got back, we played probably like 6 shows. It was, I don't know, I played a lot of shows this summer too in Portland. But after getting back, it was like, you know, you're road tested. You've been playing every night, so playing shows recently has been really fun because we're really tight.
I feel like the first half of tour was like trying to tighten up our sound, and the second half of tour it was trying to tighten up our performance and make it fun for the audience as well.
Yeah,
That's
no one
one
learned
thing
how
that
to
I feel
headbang
like
in
we-
Berlin, I think.
Yeah, we got a lot better on tour and now it's just like it's way easier to bring energy to every show.
It was in Berlin where I saw Noah really explore the stage.
We were on a big stage.
Hey,
Like,
you
a huge
give me a
stage.
sex dungeon,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna explore this
It wasn't
guy.
Yeah, that was like the biggest stage that well, definitely the deepest. It went way far back. And yeah, so we had this huge space to play on.
We'll be
and,
playing there again. We're going back to Europe in November.
But yeah, it was cool because we did learn how to play on. I mean, we played on a wide variety of stages here, but in Europe it was like the extremes, like a stage smaller than this room we're in right now, and then a stage bigger than the Wonder Ballroom stage, like just gigantic to tiny, and also like having to learn to play super quiet or like just thrash. So yeah, tour made live shows even more fun because it's like you can kind of do it. It's natural, even more natural now.
we were asked to play much longer sets there, so we play for basically a full hour is what they wanted there, and then all the shows here it's like 35 to 45 minutes. So when we're here, we're playing shorter sets, and it's like our friends out there. We're familiar with the venue, so playing shows here is more like a party every time instead of like compared to the pre-show jitters or like any of the other stressors that you normally feel like you might have. It's like any more playing shows in Portland is just really fun every step of the way. It's, setting up is easy, just like the whole thing. It's like you can drive hours to get there. It's just
You have to figure out which converter you need for the power supply.
it's just no electronic issues, no sound issues, it's just like you just set up and play.
Yeah, they weren't sure what the sound situation would be.
You never know what
Maybe
you're
an
watching.
iPad running sound, or if it was going to be an actual person. So. But yeah, live shows are fun. And tequila. That too. Tequila and live shows, they go together.
Yeah, that was great.
Yes.
So this next question is one that I've been asking all the bands I've been interviewing, because this is actually part of a series that we're putting together to try to put out names of smaller bands and get them more exposure.
Okay.
The question is, what are your favorite bands right now? Or we can even include classic bands. Just what are you listening to right now? Basically, overall, what's on your iPod?
My favorite local band that I want to give a shout out to at the moment, they're called New Mood. These guys are amazing. That's like what I'm listening to in local music. I love them.
I am also going to say a local band as one of them at least, because I'm obsessed with them. They're so much fun. Also, Rio Grandes. They put out this rad tape, and I can't stop listening to it. It's like the soundtrack in my car, and it really writes me to my mood.
Tell them also about the premise of the album.
Oh yeah, and Rio Grande's album, it's like 26 songs, the whole alphabet, each is a lady's name. So they're rad. They play PDX Pop now. I don't know if you caught them, but they're super cool. And then I've also been listening to Ala Las and Courtney Barnett. Those have been others. She's so rad. She is. Super rad. So that's off the top of my head.
Just going down the line.
Yeah.
Well, I've been listening to a lot of Rush lately. So.
Wait,
a little left field. I just got into him. I never really liked him. The dude's voice is super annoying, and his lyrics are kind of cheesy. But man, their keyboard player kills it, and the production's great.
Rush is really good.
I don't know.
Dude, Rush. Bar.
That was hilarious. Hey man,
you're out.
Give him a chance, I guess.
I listen
You've
to
been
plenty
there?
of classic rock radio.
Yeah, I've totally gotten down some Rush.
Today's Tom Sawyer, Modern Day Warrior.
Yeah. So yeah, what have I've been listening to lately? Most recent thing I listened to, I think, was the Alabama Shakes. I think that's a real good group. I like their sound. I like the versatility of their front lady, and sometimes it's just like really like kind of earthy, just like intense like vocals, and just like you're not even sure of the gender. That's like the opposite spectrum of Rush. You're like, is this a dude? Maybe, I don't know. And then other times it's like really like just rock and roll soul music, kind of throwback stuff. Yeah, so I've been really liking the Alabama Shakes just in the last couple of days. Comes to mind. And then another local band that I've just loved performing with. We've had the opportunity to do that a couple times now, and love seeing live anytime. Is Magic Mouth. And they're phenomenal, and really like everybody in the band, and just in general just fun to hang out with, and then really great to watch.
Yeah, they're great.
Amazing live show.
One of the best. One of the best ever.
I have the fortune of like working in a coffee shop where you listen to music pretty much all day long. So I listen to like 30 hours of music a week. What am I listening to? I'm listening to a ton of Francois Hardy. I don't know. She's a French pop singer from the 60s and 70s who has some really amazing albums. I've been listening to a lot of like bedroom pop kind of stuff, like there's this guy Alex G.
Ollie G?
Ali G. Alex G. This
How
other
many
guy
albums?
called Elvis Depressively that I've been listening to a lot. A band called Home Alone. All a bunch of stuff from the Orchid Tapes label.
Cool answer, coffee
Yeah,
shop
why
guy. Check out Rush.
Yeah.
I've listened to the Angel Olsen album.
Oh, yeah.
that
a
album
lot.
is
It's really
So
good.
good. I don't know. I'm thinking
That's a
if
good
there's
list.
anything else.
That's
Good.
a good
You're
start.
really cool, Andrew.
Yeah.
Way to be. Way to up our street cred.
Yeah. There you go.
Maybe you made that record label up. I think that maybe.
Yeah, I
the
made it up,
42
yeah.
is fake.
Totally fake.
Gonna scribble it on my hand and look it up later. So you're gonna be cool too.
Alright, so actually what I'm going to do with this list that you just gave me is that will be turned into an 8-tracks playlist that
That's
will be
awesome.
included on the interview on our website.
Rush.
So,
Yeah, now we have Rush in there. Thanks.
Put some Rush in there.
Dude,
Yeah.
midway through Tom Sawyer, though, that
No,
keyboard
it's
breakdown is fucking awesome. You can just put it in that little part.
Oh, I love
Just
that that's
clip it
gonna be a playlist though. That's rad.
Okay, taking it back a little bit, what are your struggles as a band?
Money and time.
Money and time for sure. I mean, I think in the beginning we were trying to find our creative force, so we had some kind of like flat practices where we just kind of played like awkward silences.
Yeah.
And that was in the very, very beginning. So then we kind of got our shit together, kind of hit our stride, and then really didn't slow down for a while. But yeah, I would say I would agree with money and time myself. Money and time.
Yeah, and it's still the problem.
No time.
I mean, we're booking for this summer now, and just trying to, we're like, all right, we're going on tour in November, and then we got to come back, and we're going to record 2 songs and make a video, and then we're going to do our Kickstarter, and then we're going to record our album,
Go back to your
and then we're going to go to Europe in, August, and it's like, all right, so we're planning for next September right now, and it's just like, man, it goes so quick.
Well, yeah, when you have your year planned out.
Basically, if you give us more money, we'll have more time.
Yeah, we'll quit our jobs and
Yeah.
we'll take a ton of albums.
Yeah.
Like all the albums.
Yeah, I feel like those are major things. I mean, we all get along real well. We can be a little shit sometimes.
Especially me.
But no, we get along real well.
You little shit.
That's our favorite insult to each other.
I don't even know. Did that happen on tour?
I don't know, but I thought you were calling somebody that I don't know. Anyways, there's also about 10,000 really terrible inside jokes that probably most bands have from spending way too much time together. Jokes that probably are not funny to anyone else. But that's how it goes. So we are not lacking in crappy humor in I'm saying that.
Literally.
Literally.
Yeah,
Yeah, very literally.
You got a dime for every bad joke.
Yeah. We
Maybe-
would have enough money to
I'd
make
be
another
1,000
record.
there.
Yeah.
You guys have actually kind of started mentioning, well, since the beginning of the interview, what your future looks like. You have tours planned in Europe, new album coming up, and you mentioned new music video, which I also saw mentioned on your Facebook page.
Oh, yeah,
You've
yeah.
been working on.
We're still in the planning stage
Yeah.
right now.
Planning stages, but we're probably going to do it in December, January. We're going to record 2 songs in January and release them kind of as a teaser for the album.
Yeah, so that's.
And yeah, we're going to Europe in November, or all of November.
Busy. It's right around the
Yeah,
corner.
And then after those 2 songs, we're talking about, recording the new record. And
Which
then,
we're writing right now.
yeah, so we're about halfway there, probably.
Yep.
So if you come to the show, you can hear us play those songs.
Or you
Sneak
can
peeks.
follow us on Instagram,
Yeah.
Twitter, Facebook.
Ramen, all that crap.
See lots of pictures of us in Europe
Yeah. So continental.
eating sausages and kebabs.
Belgium waffle.
Yeah.
We're not going to Belgium this time.
We didn't even get a waffle.
I did. I went to Brussels later. I can show you a picture of a waffle.
Yeah.
A waffle.
Sweet.
It looks like a waffle. It totally looks like a waffle.
If you take one thing from this interview, it's go to Belgium, eat the waffles.
Apparently. I don't know.
That's the lesson of this
Yeah.
fact.
Whatever, man, really.
That's the only message we want to get out.
Yeah.
All those lyrics are really about
It's
waffles.
all about waffles. Yeah.
So the next album, besides being about waffles, how's it coming together?
It's good. We're waffling a little bit, but
Waffling on some choices.
Oh no. Oh
You know, I feel
No,
like
it's coming
It's
along.
going along really well. Given the time that we've had since we've been back, we've all had to really hit the grindstone to get ourselves financially ready to go back to Europe again. And we just spent an entire month and some away from our jobs, so we had a lot of work to do just in our own daily lives to get back getting everything back in order. And scheduling is always tough when you have 6 people. So we're working really hard, and I think it's going well. And it's interesting to explore sort of, it's definitely not a completely new direction, but I can hear us evolving. And so I'm really interested to see what this album shapes up to be, because I think it will be markedly different from what we have now. And I'm going to see on the show a little bit more of our versatility in some ways, and I'm just intrigued to hear the final product, even though it's only halfway done.
Don't worry, it's still super dark and depressing.
Yeah, it's totally still sad.
You're just going to get a Neil Peart drum kit.
Yep.
Yeah.
25 drums on it.
A lot of
The little symbol.
yeah.
I need that one.
Well, I think there's gonna be some bangers on the album too.
Yeah.
We're not gonna call it bangers.
You just did.
The album title is from Miley. She's a huge. I'm sorry. I can't even. But yeah, there's some jams. There's some really solid songs that make you want to fucking shake it a little bit. I think. Fucking shake it. So I'm pretty stoked about the new songs. They make me happy. I dig them. So
We want you to hear them.
yeah.
World, internet,
Yeah.
world.
Andrew's good at talking to the camera.
I only talk to the camera. Talking to you, the people out there.
coming at you.
Thanks coming at you from the orange room. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear it's coming along good. I'm really excited to hear what it sounds like.
Yeah, you can definitely hear some of our new material. We're debuting some of them. We played one song that we had never played in front of anybody before at our last show, and we have one more show before we leave for.
But it's a house party.
It's our show.
So if you
So
know,
you have to look on the internet for us.
Yeah.
We
You
can
have to like us.
Yeah,
on
fair
Facebook.
enough. But if you follow us on
Jeff's house is on us.
he's a cool guy.
That's not right.
Yeah, but we'll probably play a bunch of new stuff.
Yeah, so we'll have a bunch of new songs. If you catch any of our live shows in the next little while, if you follow us on Facebook, you might be able to figure out what this next show is. Should be a really great party. And yeah, and there's been a few songs, some of our new songs we played all across Europe. So we've been playing for a while. And so, yeah, it's going to be really cool. I think, there's a lot of new things in the works. It's going to be really exciting for us.
All right. This next part of the interview is actually a little bit different than the rest of it has been, because I want to throw in something to surprise you guys.
Oh, shit.
Jack off our past.
I know everything.
Please.
I was lonely.
Because I've been putting together this series for Indie Alt, I reached out to all of my followers on Twitter, Facebook, all the social networks, and had them submit random questions for me to ask fans in a speed round.
Oh.
Sweet. Lightning round.
We've done a lightning round before.
Right?
It's
I like
good.
it.
Yeah, wow.
We'll see.
Andrew's prepared.
Oh,
Remember in,
Munich.
Yeah, Munich he did the lightning round.
Oh,
And
right.
then they overdubbed our voices in German. It was really awesome.
I never heard that.
It was hilarious. I listened.
To find out.
Neither for most of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This or this? Neither.
Yeah.
I have a better choice for you.
Okay, so I have all the questions that were submitted on these cards here, and being there's 5 of you right now, we'll just go down the line.
Oh, we can't shout over the top of each other?
I've tried that.
Boy.
I've tried that.
He's protested. Not into it.
Tried it. Didn't work. Alright, so we'll start with you then. Ready?
I'm ready.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Fingers for toes or toes for fingers?
Gross.
Fingers for toes.
Alright. Favorite comfort food?
Yakisoba noodles.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh my gosh! Right now, lavender mint chip. Yeah.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie?
Speed
It's a
round.
tough one. Okay, I'll say Chinatown.
Do
It's an awesome movie.
you like the xylophone?
Love it.
First album you bought?
Pearl Jam one where they're all high-fiving.
Best pizza topping?
Pineapple.
What's your favorite fruit?
Pineapple.
Not pineapple. I like strawberries. Strawberries or frozen blueberries.
No.
No, strawberries.
She's waffling.
Yeah.
Store brand cereal, yes or no?
Store, is there another kind of brand? Oh, you mean like off-brand?
Yeah.
I'll go off-brand.
Alright.
On lip gloss.
Muse, yes or no?
What?
Muse.
No.
No. I've gotten that answer before.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I mean, the Muse is all 9 of them. Yes.
The Muse band.
It is.
It's all Greek.
Okay. Elephant-sized cat or cat-sized elephant?
I get the weird ones.
I have to think about these.
I know.
Elephant's
so
got
An
it.
elephant or a cat that will murder you.
All right, I would go with the tiny elephant.
Tiny elephant.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
I like that question.
Giant.
Oh, they're there.
Tiny
Biggest hairballs
elephant.
ever.
Yeah. Oh.
Right or left-handed?
I'm left-handed.
Meaning of life in one sentence.
Oh shit.
That's an easy one.
Meeting a life in my cousin. I don't know.
You should just say lavender mint chip.
Lavender mint chip. To feel a bunch of shit and then die. Woo! Don't put me on the spot.
Is that one of the songs on the new album?
No, yes.
Now. It's the title of the album now.
A bunch of shit and then die.
Okay. And
Oh,
this
God.
next question, we're going to rephrase it. Because the question is, do you have a bass face? But do you have a cello face?
He has a bass face.
Do you have a bass face too?
Yes.
Alright.
I put my face on purpose sometimes when I play cello.
Alright.
Can you give us a bass face?
Cool.
Yeah, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take
Photographic evidence of Lily's bass face. Garrett makes a great bass face.
I know. I wish
There you
Garrett
go.
was here.
All right.
You should do your bass face because you're Garrett again.
Oh, okay. You want to do a bass face selfie?
Best idea ever.
There you
That was
go.
great. So good.
Alright, we did it. We made it through the lightning
There
round.
you go. Well, thank you guys again. Thanks
Thank
for having that out.
You're welcome.
For joining us for this part of the interview series. It was great having you. To end it off, do you have any advice for bands going into the scene?
In theory, I have a
Don't
lot.
do it.
It's not worth it. Yeah, I mean, in theory, I have a lot of advice. I guess I would just say make sure you're loving what you do.
Yeah, as long as it's fun. Don't do it unless
Yeah.
it's fun.
Do it if it's only if it's
Buy small gear.
Yeah, light.
Yeah.
Light gear.
Yeah.
That's not as serious, but kind of. Because you gotta call them around everywhere all the time. And then your bud's probably not gonna be there to help you move their gear.
He'll be doing this forever if you let him.
Go ahead.
Keep talking to the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's tough to give advice because it's a hard road. But like I said, you gotta, if you're not having a good time and you don't love it, there's no point at all. But to do it because it's the rewards are wonderful.
It's sort of, I mean, it's definitely just like another relationship. I mean, if you're dating somebody and there's enough reasons to not be in it, then you should probably leave.
Yeah, be cool, man.
You know, so if there's enough like joy and a lot of love like being reciprocated from either the songs themselves or the bandmates, I think it's definitely worth it. Sometimes it's difficult, so good with the bad, but as long as it's more good than bad.
Alright. Well, thank you guys once again.
Yeah.
This is Thanks from Portland. Their album Blood Sounds is available on Spotify, Amazon, and you can check them out at thanks.bandcamp.com.